Heidi ho, everyone. Earthy Wise Woman here, Sonia. And it's just time to, it's a good time to talk to everyone about what's going on in our world and what's happening. And I'm going to try to look at this from a magical perspective. Um, let's take the first one. Prince Philip passed away on the 9th. Some people would say, well, magically, what is that? How is that important? It's a milestone. Magically, what does that mean? Well, Prince Philip died on November the 9th. Prince Philip uh, died at the age of 99. Um, and a lot of people would say, okay. But now, from a magical perspective, one thing you need to understand is this: we are dealing with forces who have laws, even within their own um, grouping, I guess you could say, or their own organization. There are magical rules even for them, and they're evil, but they have to follow magical rules just as we do. And one of their magical rules is they have to put things in plain sight. Even if they do it in a distorted manner, it is still in plain sight. So why is it so important? Why do I say that Prince Philip's death is a millstone or a milestone? Millstone around my neck, but milestone. He died um November the 9th, 9-9. He was 99 years old, a few months short of his 100th birthday. Now, I'm just gonna write this down real quick so that you can understand why I'm saying this is very significant. As I said, Prince Philip died on the 9th. He was 99 years old. So you can see 999. But if you invert it, it's 666. Okay. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that has nothing to do with magic. That has nothing, numbers, numerology has everything to do with magic. It's one of the original forms of magic because magic, math, mag, magi, all of that is numbers, and magic and numbers go together. So it does mean something. So I'm going to suggest to everybody, do not dismiss the fact that Prince Philip died and his age. Take that, make a note of it because it's important. Okay, onward. Um, I want everyone to take a listen and a look at what's going on in our mainstream media. Not so much of what they are reporting. Let's look at what they're not reporting. And they're not making a point of mentioning. They've not mentioned the fact that gas prices have gone up almost 30 to 35% since Biden has taken office. I want you to notice I did not say President Biden, I said Biden. And I do not believe he has actually taken office. I do believe he is sitting in a chair and keeping it warm. But he has basically an organization, I won't give it a name. Some people say Deep Stank, and some people say the Cabal. You pick your name. Let me just say really bad people who have questionable motives are controlling what's going on behind Biden. I say that because why is it that when Biden took over, probably less than a month, gas prices went up astronomically? I mean, they went up. Why is it that when Biden took over, countries we weren't dealing with, we weren't importing gasoline and oil anymore? We were using our own. Why is it now that we've gone back to importing something we have? We have in our own country. We know we have it. And one theory is this: the person who dies with the most toys win. In other words, you go over to another country and you exhaust all of their oil and all of their um, commodities or whatever you want to say. Use all of theirs up. And then when all of theirs is gone, you still have yours, and they have to come begging to you for yours because they used all of theirs. Hence the term, the person with the most toys win. And in fact, no one wins, okay? Because the only people suffering from these gas prices are the American people, and we are suffering, all right? Because many of us are still under the blanket of COVID. And what I mean by that is some of us have not gone back to work yet, or some of us are having to do a lot of catch up on bills. And the last thing we need is to have to pay exuberant gas prices, which we are doing. Okay. What does this mean magically? Magically, what this does is this: it puts us deeper into the game. And what that means is this: think of this plane that you're living on right now like a game of Monopoly, because that's what this is. It's a game of Monopoly. We are spiritually rolling dices, and we're not thinking about our spiritual growth. We're not thinking about reaching higher dimensions of consciousness. We're thinking about, and validly thinking about, having to put food on the table. We're thinking about keeping a roof over our heads. And don't think that that's all they want you to think about. It is. Because if that is your only thing that you're thinking about, you're not going to question too many things. And that's a problem. We need to question. We need to question. Okay? Why is it that the mainstream media are not putting a hot foot on Biden? God knows, deity knows, they burned Trump, President Trump, till that man was crispy brown. He was my color by the time the media was done baking him. And you know something? Honestly, he didn't have it coming. He didn't have it coming. Now, Biden, on the other hand, this mother ain't been in office a year. Our gas prices have gone up, and already we're having problems at our borders again. Now, why is it that all of a sudden, when we had stopped this problem, we are now back to having a glut on our borders with underage children being brought across the border, and they are being released to people who are their sponsors, who they just happen to have a phone number and a name. So, in other words, what are they doing? They call up, "Hey, Billy, we got your nephew here. Come on down and pick him up." And then you have to say, well, wait a minute, they're not related to these people. Why are they releasing these children to these people? And you can't verify that they're not their parents. That you know, these are not these children's parents. Why are you releasing these children to traffickers, to pedophiles? And you know they are. Okay? Trump had solved this problem. We had a wall. We had a wall. Now all of a sudden they're talking about, oh, we're going to have to put the overflow at the Fairplex grounds in Pomona. Oh, we're going to have to use um, convention centers. And now I don't particularly buy into the whole COVID situation, but I have a question. Why are you allowing people from other countries to come into our country who have not had the vaccine, who are not COVID tested, but they're allowed to come in? And I, as an American citizen, am not allowed to go to another state because of my COVID status, because I did or did not take the vaccine. Now, my civil liberties are being checked, but you're allowing people from another country who may not have been vaccinated, who may be COVID positive, they can come into this country without a problem. You're telling me, oh, well, we've got to make sure that we get the population under so much so that we can get something called herd immunity. Well, aren't you harming us by bringing in people who have not been vaccinated and who have not been tested for COVID? And yet you're bringing them among us who, A, may or may not been vaccinated, who may or may not be COVID positive. Why is it okay for them to not have it, but we've got to have it? I see contradiction here, a lot of it. And yet, everybody says this is cool. Nobody is questioning. People, we need to question, 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 question. Because it's not so much what the mainstream is telling us, it's more or less what they're not telling us. Um, I'm just going to ask, there's a very important trial going on. I'm not going to say the full name of the person. We all know his first name happens to be George. And sadly for his family, and I'm sorry for them, he passed away. But now they're making it seem as if the police was the cause of this man's death and that maybe the police did play a role. But if you have really studied the facts, which I've had to go on alternative media groups, and a lot of people are saying, "Well, you don't know if uh, they're accurate." Well, I do know one thing. I know the mainstream media definitely is not, and I have seen the pictures, and I have heard the reports. And one thing that they all have seemed to said, including, and I have been listening to the court reports. I've actually listened to what's going on in the courtroom. What they're not telling you in the mainstream media is this poor man had enough fentanyl in his system that he was going to die. He had that much fentanyl in his system already. And for those of you who don't know, when a person has fentanyl in their system, one thing they can die of is asphyxiation. They can choke to death. Okay? When they showed the photos of the police officer on that gentleman's neck, his knee wasn't on his neck. His knee was on his shoulder blade. There's a lot of contradictions that's been going on. The mainstream media has painted this man like he was a martyr. And I'm here to tell you, no, he really wasn't. He was somewhat of a career criminal. But I don't think he was a bad guy. I think he was a man getting his life together. He did take drugs. He may have taken too much. And he was complaining about not being able to breathe even before they handcuffed him. When he was in the car, I saw it. I've heard it. He was complaining that he could not breathe. And one of the signs of an overdose is the person won't be able to breathe. That's generally how they die. All right. Why do I feel that the media is doing this? It's like called the elephant in the room. They're taking our attention off of one thing and putting it on the other. They're creating a race war. They're creating a race war. So here's the thing. Will they get away with it? I believe they will. And according to my cards, they will. So I'm going to make a suggestion to everybody out there. Please don't leave your house when start now. Start now putting plenty of food and water in your home. Now, lots of food. Have at least 2 weeks worth of food in your pantry. I'm going to suggest to people who have small children, buy powdered milk and don't leave your house because it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad before it ever does get better. Because I'm afraid when they read the verdict, if justice is done, they're going to twist this like no justice will be done. And there will be a war. And I'm here to tell you, Antifa ain't your friend. Black Lives Matter aren't your friend. And they will join together and they will create such anarchy, such chaos that you'll never believe. It is going to get bad. And it's going to be flamed, and the winds of hatred will be flamed by the media. So be aware of this. So I'm going to suggest you stock up on groceries now and stay home. Okay, don't believe the media. If you do decide to listen to your mainstream media, hear what they say and then reverse what you hear. Because if they say it's getting better, it's not getting better. If they say it's not fair, it probably is very fair and they're not telling you all the aspects of the story, which they're not in this case. I'm sure that Mr. Floyd didn't deserve to be treated like that, but I'm also sure that you're not getting the full picture of what really, really happened. Because one thing that we all know that the mainstream media is notoriously good for is making someone into a martyr. And when you look at the full circumstances of what has happened, usually it's not what the picture is painted as. Okay? So, my suggestion is this: magically speaking, for all of my aware being people, stay aware. Please do not hide your head in a hole and hope that everything is going to go away. Personally, I would like to do that, but I can't and I won't because that's not how it's going to go away. We are going into an age where we are becoming aware all over the world. People are aware. Third eye is being opened by not just one or two or three people, but by thousands, millions of people. Their third eyes are being opened, and there's nothing anyone is going to be able to do to shut them. I invite you to tap into your third eye. One, two, three. Tap it and keep it on. See what you have to see. I'm going to strongly suggest to those out there, eat good food, real food, grow a garden. This is the month of April. It is a good time of the year to grow gardens. Drink plenty of pure water and be aware they're trying to pollute our water more than ever because they can put solutions in your water like chlorine and fluoride that will cause you to have what I would like to say is brain fuzzies. And what it is it will fuzzy up your third eye so that your clarity of thought and processing is questionable. Don't let this happen. You know, drink good water. Please do. Try to cut down on eating any red meat. I know a lot of you out there think that this new impossible meat is an alternative. It's poison. Don't eat that stuff. It's not good for you. If anything, it's altering your DNA. It's actually going to harm you. Don't eat it. I was trying to be, if you feel that, okay, I'm being tight tongue here. So I'm just going to say it plainly. And if they take me off, they do. Don't take it. Those of you who are questioning whether you should take that vaccine or not, and there is a doubt in your heart and your mind, follow your inner voice. Question it because I am questioning it. There are things that they're not reporting. They're reporting how many people have taken the vaccine. But I notice, and I've said this in my last video, they are not reporting how it is affecting people. Has anyone had any kind of adverse reaction to this vaccination. And I'm sure someone have. Why are they not telling us what these adverse reactions are? I'm sure some of you are aware that a certain rapper passed away last week. And the media, the first thing they said about this poor rapper was that, oh, he must have died of drug overdose. He didn't. He had a heart attack. He was only 50 years old. But the one thing he did have is that vaccination. Now, I happen to have had a friend of mine whose father took the vaccination. 20 minutes after the vaccination, he died of a heart attack. He was in his late 40s. I have a question. Why is it that many first responders are choosing not to also take the vaccination? Many people are not choosing to. I have another question. Why is it that they're basically giving away that vaccination like a box of bubble gum? Come and get it. You don't even have to bring an ID now. They'll just give it to you. That doesn't make any sense. I have to make an appointment with my doctor to get a tetanus shot. My doctor writes down that I've had that tetanus shot. Now you're telling me I can just be Joe Blow off the streets and you're going to give me a shot? I don't even have to give you an ID. I can make up a name, I can make up an alias and you'll give me that shot? You don't even know if you'll ever see me again? You don't even know if I'll follow up, but it's all right for me to take that shot? Doesn't that make you concerned? There's something wrong in that. If they're willing to give out that shot like it's no big deal, and some of you might say, well, they just want us to have herd immunity real quick. You want to know how you get herd immunity? You get herd immunity by you getting everybody together in the same room, and if they have it, they give it to each other. And it will happen naturally. Herd immunity happens naturally. No vaccine can give you that. Now I'm hearing reports that even if you get the vaccine, you can still pass COVID to somebody else. So, what are you getting the vaccine for if you can still give COVID to someone? What are you getting the vaccine for if after the vaccine you still have to wear a mask? I know a lot of you want to get back to normality. I would like to get back to normality as well. But this vaccine ain't the way. This is what they're telling you. But it's not, because here's the thing. If the vaccine really works, that means that you cannot give COVID to anyone and you cannot catch COVID. And they're saying, well, that's not exactly true. So, what is true with this vaccine? What are the pros? What are the cons? No one's telling me. Why is it that the Procter and Gamble vaccination was taken off? They're not giving that one out. What happened? Why are they no longer offering that one time shot where you don't have to go back in for a second one? Why is that? Why is it not being offered any longer? What were the side effects? I'm just asking questions. I'm not trying to give answers. I don't know all the answers, but I do know that I need to question, and somebody needs to give us the answers. And if they're not giving us the answers, we need to keep on questioning and don't walk around like a sheep willing to be their victim. Keep on questioning. Put them to task. Make them accountable. The mainstream media, your government, they need to be accountable. Remember, this is the government for the people, by the people. We have rights. Don't you give up your rights out of complacency because you're just going to go along with the program. Don't you think that they know that? They give you $1,400 and you say, bah, screw the $1,400. That's my money any damn way. I don't have to beg, borrow, grovel, or steal for it. I pay my damn taxes. That's my money. You owe me that. If I'm paying taxes, you owe me that. And technically speaking, income taxes are illegal and unconstitutional anyway. Yeah, you owe it back to me. All I'm saying is this: if we don't question, we are being sheep. And I'm going to keep every time my guides tell me to make one of these, I'm going to make one, a video that is. Now, how does this affect us magically? If you don't question, you are literally dumbing down yourself. And when you dumb down yourself, it's not just in the mundane world, you're doing it in the spiritual world. Rise up and be the being you are. Not that you meant to be, you are this. One of the things that this phony baloney, I don't know what you want to call it, but a matrix system has done is dumbed us down to believe that this is all we are. We are so much more than this. Spiritually speaking, you are an immense being. You're made in the image of God. And in a way that kind of makes you a mini God, if you think about it, spiritually speaking. But to deny your spirituality, to not pray, to not call upon your guides, you're setting yourself up for a catastrophe. And they want that. Because one of the things when setting up a social, a communistic society, a socialism society is, they cut you from your spiritual being. They cut you off from God. They cut you off from your deities. They cut you off from your ancestors. And why do they do that? Because in doing that, they make you not remember what and who you are. Don't allow it. Don't allow it. Question and put them to task. Make them earn their money. They're here to serve us. We're not there to do their bidding. Make them answer your questions. Because I refuse to go quietly in the night and bah to the slaughterhouse. I'm gonna fight. I'm not telling you to physically go down and burn flags or nothing like that. No, you don't have to fight like that. You want to fight? Question everything. You want to fight? Say no. No, I don't have enough answers. You guys are not answering my questions. And until you do, no. No. No is a very powerful word. No is a very powerful word. But it's nothing if you don't say it. I'm going to end here, and I don't know what kind of comments I'm going to get. And I just want to say, no matter what, I love you guys. I love you. You are my brothers. You are my sisters. And I love you. And love is the most powerful thing in the universe. Nothing is more powerful than love. If we can all, as a collective, tap into the love energy and hum and be one with each other, we will raise our harmonial level to a level that we can just break through this facade of bullshit, because the world we live in is a facade. This isn't the real thing. This is what they gave us to believe. This is the matrix. And if we collectively say no more, this isn't real, because we have all had glimpses. We have all had glimpses of what the real thing is. Guys, don't forget that. That was not a oopsie. That was not a, oh, that was just make believe. No, this is the make believe. And that was the real thing. Okay? The oopsie was you weren't supposed to see it. But now that you have, don't act like you haven't seen it. You've seen it. You know what it can be like. You know what it should be like. Come on, guys. Collectively, we can raise our harmonic level. We can be the beings we are always been. This is not it. This ain't the end. This is not it. Death ain't the end. This shell that we have is not us. This is a shell. We are so much more than this. So I'm asking, I'm begging you, question everything and don't trust them. Don't trust them because I'm here to tell you they do not have your best interest at heart. They have your demise, the end. I want you to realize one thing they all have in common. They want to lower the population by any means necessary. Consider that. They don't give a shit about your ass. And don't be thinking they do, because they don't. So please, please don't believe everything you hear. Trust in what you feel. Trust in what you sense. Because I'm here to tell you that's your inner being and it's waking up. Believe in it because it won't lead you wrong if you listen. Listen, not to this bullshit. Turn off them cell phones. Don't fuck that mainstream media. Get rid of them iPods. Believe in what you feel. Believe it because it's the truth. If you just shut it down, you'll hear the collective energy and music of the universe, and it is real and it is beautiful. I said 2 minutes ago I was going to end this. I am. I guess I'm trying to get it all in at once, and hopefully you guys hear me. I know I'm not the most eloquently speaking person, but I'm real, and I'm keeping it real for you. So, guys, question. If you didn't get anything else off this video, question what they're telling you. Question what they're telling you.